And a delayed good morning and welcome to the new edition or the latest edition of Let It Be Known, brought to you by the Bell Project, helping over 40,000 families post bail and trying to get rid of the cash bail system, and by the March On PAC, a women-led organization that seeks the strongest of the strong Democratic candidates and to make sure to save democracy. That's uh, whew, lots going on as always. It's like every morning we say, "Lots going on," and this is absolutely no different. And we keep talking about every day we could probably bring a story about police brutality. Every day we could probably bring a story about racism. Not probably, but we could. And today's no different. Today is absolutely no different. In New York, this right here, this man here, as he hobbles into a press conference, he was seen on video being beaten and wrongfully arrested by two NYPD officers at a liquor store in Brooklyn. He's filed a notice saying he plans to sue the department over that incident. His name is Timothy Brown, and he told reporters that he felt humiliated, disrespected, and embarrassed by the arrest and will never be the same after the incident, which took place April 14th. Yeah, he's a home health aide and a security guard, and he was just buying wine at the store after work when he was suddenly approached by two plainclothes detectives who allegedly seized him and attacked him as other customers was just looked on. They were just shocked. It's like, what is going on? And there you see, just attacked, brutally attacked. His claim is he's seeking $100 million in punitive damages, um, including negligence, false arrests, assault, battery. This, of course, was filmed by bystanders. And his notice states that the NYPD policy requires officers to wear or activate body-worn cameras during narcotics enforcement operations. The NYPD claimed that the undercover detectives allegedly witnessed a narcotics purchase of crack cocaine and that the suspect was seen wearing the same clothes as Mr. Brown here. They said there was no drugs or contraband found on him after his arrest and that he was not the suspect they were looking for. They did issue him a ticket for resisting arrest and obstruction of government administration. They jumped on him, and that's the thing. You start beating the guy, and you call it resisting arrest. Your body is going to react. He's in the store. He's just buying some wine for dinner. Apparently, has no criminal record, no prior run-ins. So he's shocked, just like everybody else in that store who probably knew him. So the NYPD uh, now has to answer in court. And this, this is status quo, right? This is what is going on. ONG says after watching that viral video of the officers beating this guy, it goes to show until the lawsuit comes out of their check and pension, nothing will change. Yep, yep. Been saying it forever. Qualified immunity must go. It must go. And it's true. It's the only way it's going to at least put a dent in what we see until they have to pay for it personally. Because you realize that, for instance, if he wins this, if Mr. Brown wins this $100 million lawsuit against the city, against the police department, who pays for it? The citizens, tax. And taxes are outrageous already, especially in New York. And these officers are well aware of that. This is why their union fights very hard every time the words qualified immunity comes up. They fight very hard to quash it. You're not touching our qualified immunity. We're gonna continue to operate in the way we operate. And that's really a shame because again, as they say, one bad apple, well, they got so many bad apples, unfortunately, that overwhelm the good guys. And the good guys are left behind this, as they call it, the blue wall of silence. Is every once in a blue moon you get a Serpico or something like that, someone like that. Once in a blue moon. Or a guy like, in the American Gangster film with, Denzel Washington, Russell Crowe's character, which is based on a true story. How when he turned that money in, being a good cop, the entire department turned against him just about. And this is the legacy that they don't mind having. They don't mind having that. And that's really interesting because then it starts to tell you about the people they are. As of right now, Orangey, the charges of obstructing, a governmental, what is it? Governmental, proceedings and, resisting arrest, they have not yet been dropped. But I'm pretty sure that that will be a part of the negotiations. I'm pretty sure that they're not there's no way those charges are even gonna stand. This man was brutally attacked, surprised, and he was the wrong guy. And I ask you, how often do police, say that you fit the description? And when they say that, how often they say it to a non-black person or a non-Latino person? Southbound says police departments do care as long as the insurance companies keep paying it. It's okay. When insurance companies make their minds to stop it, it will, it will stop. And there's another part of it, right? Because the insurance companies do, uh, they indemnify it. That's a great point. That is a great point. So you have that those as a two-edged sword, right? Qualified immunity and the insurance companies who pay for these transgressions. Yeah, but there has to be, and it also shows you too. Here's something else it shows you too. Your congressperson, your senators, your city council people, they have not done anything about it, and it doesn't look like they've even tried to do anything about it. But here we are. Turning our attention down to the Delta, down in Mississippi, where I don't know how many recall because so much has been done under this administration, where the president has openly stated that he felt like white South Africans were being discriminated against, particularly the farmers. Well, in Mound Bayou, a town founded in 1887 by formerly enslaved Black Americans as a place of independence and self-governance, local Black farm workers say their jobs are disappearing and being replaced by white workers from South Africa brought in through a federal visa program. Residents describe a noticeable shift that is happening there. Fewer local workers in the fields and more foreign laborers earning higher pay for the same work. It's the federal H-2A visa program, which is supposed to be used only when employers cannot find American workers. Yet people in the community say it is now being used all the time instead of hiring local labor. Between 2024 and 2025, about 25,000 South Africans came to work on farms in the U.S., according to various reports. But at the same time, Black residents in Mound Bayou report losing income and work opportunities. Some say they were even required to train the workers who later replaced them. Yeah. So this is yeah, dirty deeds in the South. Um, a federal lawsuit filed by Black Mississippi farm workers say that they were paid about $10 an hour, while white South African workers were paid more for doing the same jobs, at least double. And then the area already faces like high poverty, of course, unemployment, and then of course there are job losses everywhere. But in places like there in Mississippi, it is absolutely horrendous. This is this is a clearly a Trump administration thing. They made that very clear when they were coming in. We were going to take care of white South Africans. He said white South Africans were being discriminated against. Isn't that rich? The very people who bought you the oppressive apartheid system were being oppressed, he says. And so this is this is that whole mess around and find out type thing. It is very bad in Mound Bayou, says Orange G. The white workers are treated like an overseer. Yeah, can you imagine that? Uh, They're on the farm. It's 2026, and you have these white South African overseers, and these black men in the field, black men and women. Mm. Yeah, it is. It's pretty deep when you think about that. Just imagine what they are going through down there. And I mean, somebody's got to live there, right? But I got to tell, it's not even a place I want to visit. It is absolutely. It just has all of it, like so much of the slavery stuff. The every nothing really has changed down in certain areas in Mississippi and Alabama. You go down there. I went to Alabama that one time, and it was it was so eerie because I remember walking, thinking, "Oh my gosh!" And it just you see these almost like slave-like cabins that people live in, and the poverty. It's really scary. It's you gotta have PTSD down there. I mean, I know no one living today, was a slave, but you gotta you've seen the depictions and the movies and the book read the books, et cetera, et cetera. You gotta when you go to certain areas of Alabama, and I'm trying to remember the name of the town that I visited in Alabama, because I know it was, uh, the major airport there, gosh, it's been so long. But but I just remember, like, going to the store, and the store was interesting because again, it was flat out of the, Reconstruction. Nothing much in certain areas. The airport was in Mobile, right? And then we had to go maybe an hour or so away from Mobile. But the the places there, they have not come out of, like, Jim Crow. As far as they had the advancement is from slavery, Reconstruction to they made it perhaps to Jim Crow, but they have not come any further than Jim Crow. It's like the civil rights movement never happened in certain places in Alabama, certain places in Mississippi. And I just can't see how, and I know people, it's easy for me to say, "I can't see how you live there," because you get in certain places and you're pretty much stuck. And then we talk about income and not lack of income, lack of opportunity, the out and out oppression, and we talk about law enforcement in New York City. Imagine down in Alabama and certain places there. Imagine down in Mississippi, in the Delta where we were just talking about. Certain places in Louisiana, the Brewtown through, Montgomery area. That sounds about right. Brewtown sounds about right. But it's just not a place. Who says I'm going on vacation, I'm gonna go to Mississippi, I'm going to go to Alabama? What black person says that? Holy crap. I can't. And I feel for our folks there. I had a, aunt and her daughters lived in Alabama for some time, years and years ago. Wow. And how do you how is it possible? And then she went to the Alabama of the East. She moved to the Bronx. Nah, I'm messing with the Bronx. The Bronx is not Alabama in any stretch of the by any stretch of the imagination. But nonetheless, it was the hood. It was the straight hood at that. Oh gosh. Financially, we talked again about, the lack of jobs. It's everywhere. It's not just Alabama, Mississippi. This, folks, is a trend, and it's all trending the wrong way. The share of Americans who say their financial situation is getting worse is higher now than at any point in the past 25 years. There's a new Gallup survey that came out yesterday. It says Americans are struggling after years of higher inflation and a recent surge in gas prices. Gas prices average now is at $4.23 per gallon. 55% of those, who responded to this poll that was conducted the first half of April from the 1st to the 15th said that their financial situation is getting worse, and that's up from 53% last year. It was at 47% the year before, and that number is higher at any point since 2001, even compared with recessions during the pandemic or in the wake of the financial crisis. So it tells you just how bad things really are right now. And this is the 5th consecutive year that more Americans say that their finances are getting worse. And then when folks are asked to identify their most important financial problem, most of them say it's the cost of living. It's energy costs. They're mentioned next as well. Inflation is still elevated. Um, and remember, before the Iran war started, gas was under $3 a gallon on average. And of course, just about everybody, 70% or so, blame Donald Trump. They say he's the reason why things are so bad. This is, again, according to that new Gallup poll. So really, it's white folks talking about white folks blaming Donald Trump. So you can't say, "Hey, that's y'all saying it." No, that's them saying it. So there you have it. The Don is to blame. Boy, oh boy. Ah, and but it's not getting any better, and that's the problem. It's just not getting any better. Um, let's turn our attention now to the influencer or the late influencer, Ashley Janae. Her remains have finally made it back to the United States, but family, they have many, many questions about Ashley Janae. She was just 31 years old when she was found unresponsive at a luxury resort in Tanzania earlier this month. She had been there, of course, with her 45-year-old fiance, Joe McCann, and she was there to celebrate her birthday, celebrate her engagement. Um, and then 4 days later, after showing video of her being so excited and so in love and homeboy on his knees, and, they got the big lion walking ahead of them and all that stuff, um, she's dead. And the questions that the family has, among so many others, is like, where are her personal belongings? They sent her back with, got her body back. They didn't get any of her personal belongings, including her engagement ring. She didn't have that either. They are asking, what will the autopsy reveal? Because remember, they initially "Oh, it was a suicide." And I'm telling you, ain't no black person going to Tanzania or anywhere else to celebrate their birthday and celebrate their engagement, and then they hang themselves. It just doesn't make any sense, never did, never will. The family says they want the surveillance footage from the hotel, which they have not received. And remember, there was staff reports, hotel staff have reported that there had been, um, violent commotions going on between the 2 in the room. They had to separate them and, move him to a separate villa. Now, they have not made an arrest. McCann is not under arrest, but they have, revoked his passport. Tanzania officials are not letting him travel out of the country as they conduct their investigation. And this is an issue, and RG is bringing it up. This is an issue that, um, Black folks in particular are having with this, late influencer. He says, right, she didn't deserve to die like that, but when a person demeans their own race, he or she will FAFO. Ask OJ. He loves making his OJ references. Um, but yeah, it is a fact that she had made some posts, very demeaning toward Black men in particular, and it's hard for us to swallow that, Black men in particular, when you are, running around with a white man, then he winds up killing you, apparently, allegedly, in 4 days. What w you gotta you gotta wonder, we inquiring minds need to know. There was a guy, and I can't think of his name, he did a radio show, a sports radio show in Los Angeles, he would play the Howard Cosell riff all the time. "Who goofed? I've got to know." And, that's how I wanna know. What could have transpired in that short period of time that you killed the girl? You hung her. And maybe the hanging was just try to show that she committed suicide, but you killed her. Maybe he killed her or someone killed her before the hanging. The hanging was just to cover up the actual reason or cause of death. But what could have transpired? We got pictures and it's, of course, allegedly, I mean, folks are believing that, the fiancé is responsible. So what could have caused him to snap or maybe not snap, but to go from being on your knee, taking a vacation with her, celebrating with her, and within 4 days, she's dead? What could have happened? And the hotel staff is saying that there were loud and potentially violent arguments and activity between the 2 of you that they had to separate you? It just doesn't make any sense, and of course, to the family, they need to know all of this. You're engaged, you're on this trip, it's a happy time supposedly, lots of good stuff supposed to be happening, and the on what could it be? It wasn't like you 4 days, you get engaged, and now I'm putting my, like, Columbo hat on, right? It couldn't have been that what did you disagree on? Did s did he have a did you find out he had another woman over there and you flipped or flipped out? Or did he find out you had another man over there, or you just saw, you and the tour guide started hitting it off? I don't know. And he flipped? What it's something real it has unless he's just that diabolical, you gotta look into his past. Has he ever had other either girlfriends, fiancées, wives, or whatever that turned up dead? This is what happens on, like, Law& and Order or Blue Bloods or something. He said, "I always told my 3 white friends we are not going on vacation ever." Yeah, yeah, they're your friends, but you don't trust them to that extent, huh, Orangey? Michelle Madison's asking, "Are you able to get life insurance on a fiancé?" It's an interesting question, and I tell you what, Michelle, if he does have, did take out life insurance on him, then there you go. Game, set, match, right? It's over. But what could I mean, y'all chime in. What could Michelle, what could make a person you on a sort of like a honeymoon, supposed to be so in love. What could have happened? I refuse to believe that I don't know nothing about this young lady. I didn't even I may have saw her timeline once before, whatever. I don't even know if I did or not. Of course, because she became dead, we all knew, and we saw all the posts that she made. A lot of people saw all the posts before, she died. There's one thing I don't typically do is, I don't do at all, is follow these, so-called lifestyle influencers. I mean, others I follow, like Booker Square, Elizabeth, I follow her. I mean, she it's newsy. It's, although Elizabeth's stuff is really political, but I like Elizabeth. I like, Booker Square. A very cool person. I remember last time I saw her in, DC at the, Congressional Black Caucus's, annual legislative conference last September, and it was just so cool running into her. We just had a good time. She's a cool, person. But these lifestyle influences, I don't that stuff does never has impressed me. That's why I don't understand. That's another reason, one of the billion reasons I don't understand this Kardashian, love affair. People love the Kardashians. Why? I don't get that. The Kardashians. I don't get it. They kept showing, the one, I guess she's not a Kardashian, she's a Jenner, Kylie Jenner at the Knicks game last night. Like, you know nothing about the Knicks. You know nothing about basketball. Go home. Go away. The last time I see a Kardashian, it would be the best time I've seen a Kardashian. I've never from, uh, day one, uh, appreciated anything about the Kardashians. I did meet Kim once, but this is before she became this, before the Ray J days. Long before the Ray J days. Yeah. Um, but that was a long time ago, and she was and look, she was a normal, young, nice looking, girl, but what she's become? No. I can't deal. I can't deal. I mean, congratulations on all the success stemming from a sex tape, but congratulations anyway. If that's how you gotta do it, uh, I can't get down with you. I just can't get down with you. So, have fun with that. And some other news and some really more uplifting news. I like this story. Black, superhero boot camp. Um, about 3 dozen middle school students gathered, earlier this month at the Brownsville Community Middle School, in New York, learning to lead, regulate their emotions, explore careers, and build the kind of confidence that doesn't show up in a report card. The Black Superhero Boot Camp, founded by civil rights attorney Charles Coleman Jr., brought together students from Brooklyn's District 23 for a day of workshops, fitness, training, and lifestyle and life skills programming. It's sponsored by the nonprofit CFC 40 and supported by the New York City Department of Education. The event was put together to provide Black middle school boys with a space built for them as they approach the end of the academic year. Now, Mr. Coleman has an extensive history in youth mentorship. Yeah, he founded and led Edge Movement New York City, which is a mentoring program for Black and Latino boys, and the Black Superhero Project, which where he coordinates 10 service projects across the country. And the Black Superhero Boot Camp expands on years of his community service, transforming mentorship into actionable programs for the youth. Um, Southbound, going back to Kardashian, he said the Kardashians showed Black America how to really get the bag, but to a video to do it, but it took a video to do it. Something porn stars have been trying to do, they just never got the bag. Okay. Um, but I like this, the Black Superhero Boot Camp. There you go. You have to reinforce into young ones that there are ways to go about even getting the bag southbound. Um, but to have that structure, I remember we had something similar when I was growing up. Um, and that was, we had the little, what was it called? But we had the little community center there where, they teach you discipline, they teach you, respect. And, in a community where certainly where both parents have to work, and in some cases, um, 2 jobs, especially today, it's great to have a program like that. And I don't think it's the anti-girl thing, Tracy. She says they always leave the girls out of everything. Um, but just that structure and discipline and that but more than the structure and the discipline, it's the reinforcement, that you are somebody and you will be somebody. You often you can't my high school, slogan was, "We can because we think we can," which was later changed, by our principal to "We can because we know we can." Those type of things that you have to push on these young minds today, because the young people today they have more distractions than anybody in past generations. This generation has more distractions ever. There's never been nearly the amount of distractions. And so this, superhero, camp is really boot camp is really a cool thing. And you hope that it continues, whatever funding they need, that it continues. The New York City Department of Education is squarely behind it, and that nothing crazy happens to, put a crimp in it, as they say. And she's going on about the girls need the same loving. I think that they get it. We I think boy, oh boy, give the boys something. Michelle Madison says she can't stand the Kardashians. I shouldn't have mentioned the Kardashians because that's me too. I can't once I mention them, it's like mentioning Taylor Swift. I gotta go in on them. Uh, Auntie says the Kardashian curse is real. We need a black superhero to protect crazy black men from looking at a Kardashian. Isn't she dating another black man now? Listen, couldn't be me. I don't care how much money Kardashian got. It could never be me. Never. Good lord. It just seems like you'd have to you'd have to bathe 20 times a day. That with 'cause they just that's how icky I feel thinking about them. I'm just not a fan. It sucks. I'm not a fan. Um, and I wanna talk about this. I want you guys take a look at this. We talked about this already, but from a different angle, and this is what happened, um, at the, Wilmington, Delaware Marathon. Um, listen up. Listen to this.
The man who lost the Delaware Marathon has spoken out about how he felt about losing. The Delaware Marathon Running Festival ended in total shock this past Sunday when a runner was passed in the final moments. A man named Carson was only steps away from winning the marathon and was seen jogging towards the line with his arms raised in victory. While he was focused on his celebration, he did not realize that another runner was closing in very fast from about 50 yards behind. Joshua Jackson had picked up his speed and was surging towards the finish while the crowd screamed with excitement. Just as Carson reached the line, he was passed at the very last second by Joshua, who remained laser focused. Joshua finished with a time which was only 2 seconds faster than Carson. Now we found out how Carson feels. One source said, The loser was seen being very upset afterwards. He worked so hard for this. He wanted it more than anything. He tried to put on a brave face, but ultimately he told his close ones that he was devastated. It is clear that Carson put everything into this race, and having the victory taken away so close to finish has been extremely difficult. The video of the moment has gotten a lot of attention across social media, with thousands of people sharing the clip of the unexpected finish. But before you go, I want to know, how would you feel if you were him?
He didn't win. So how about you talk to Joshua Jackson about how it felt to actually win? Like, are we serious? And I saw some comments from some folks that'll say they're going to change the rules about this. Apparently, you're not going forward. You're not allowed to sprint the last moment of a marathon to win. Why are we interviewing the second place winner? I mean, we know why, but like, why don't we congratulate Joshua Jackson, the actual winner of the marathon? When we talk about whiteness being centered, this is a prime example of it. The dude didn't win. He was too slow. And he thought that he was going to win. He checked his watch. He was like cruising in. But he lost. He's not the winner. But everyone wants to know how he feels about losing by 2 seconds. How about we talk about what it took to sprint the last couple of moments of a marathon, and what that takes, and what Joshua Jackson did, and what his body was capable to do to win. Because he's the winner. He won first place. So why are we talking to the second place winner? Why are we talking about why he feels like he lost just barely, right? Like, let's think about this. This is what we're talking about when we talk about centering whiteness.
And then the talk of, okay, maybe we should change the rules that you're not allowed to sprint at the end. What? Now they want to tell you how to run. But the finish there at Wilmington, I mean, it wasn't electrifying because of a neck and neck battle. It was electrifying because in the moment that stunned Mr. Mello and everyone else, basically Carson Mello surrendered before the finish line. Yeah, he did all of the celebration and stuff like that. Thought for sure he had victory. But in that fleeting instant of self-congratulation, the race was taken away from him. Josh Jackson was relentless and undistracted, and he never hesitated. He never assumed that he was going to lose, and he never let up. He surged through that tape. But here we are. Look how it's being spun. The narrative keeps circling back to Mello. Talking about his disappointment. Why? How does it feel to finish 2 seconds? What? His heartbreak. What? You lost. How? Since when the loss gets top billing? It's just like what, a couple of years ago when Jill Biden was like, "We're going to invite," when Angel Reese's team trounced the Caitlin Clark's crew. We're going to invite them both to the White House. They can't take it. Josh Jackson earned every inch of that finish. And now they're trying to make him a footnote. The winner, the marathon champion. But it's a pattern, as that woman spoke, that we know all too well. It happens again and again. Black athletes do the work, they deliver the results, and yet they make sure that the spotlight goes everywhere. Research after research have shown that media coverage routinely sideline their stories while white athletes are given depth, empathy, all this analysis. Oh, perhaps the rules are wrong. It's crazy work. Remember the saying, the thriller, and this would have been the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, southbound. Yeah, that was ABC Wild World of Sports. I'll never forget that opening. Who will if you was around to see it? But this would have been perfect for that. Remember how they would show southbound when they say the thrill of victory and then the agony of defeat, and you had the skier fall and go into this barrel all into this stuff or whatever. That was the agony of defeat. Now, this would replace the agony of defeat. Homeboy running, got his arms up, and the other dude, Josh Jackson, zooms past him. And see, and the difference, they're trying to invent a new story for this mellow fellow, mellow fellow, while Joshua Jackson doesn't need to invent a backstory. He doesn't need to invent an excuse. He won. He's the story. He is the story. But yet they want to spin it. This is, again, certain media, a lot of certain media now. I mean, where can you turn? This is why I do this dog and pony show every morning. try to put it in perspective. It's just another way of what they gonna blame DE and I. He's a DE and I runner. Are you kidding? Michelle says, "Say what?" Yeah, it is the agony of defeat, and and that's the problem here. The agony. He's cruising, right? But haven't you been taught you don't take anything for granted? But there are certain people, that's why they call it privilege, right? They do take stuff for granted. Here we are. They want to spend this. I tell you, I'm gonna keep my eye on the Wilmington Marathon from now on, just to see if they decide between now and the next race next year to change the rules. No sprinting. No sprinting. This is a marathon. Marathons usually go where in the beginning you kind of start off jogging because you want to conserve your energy. Marathons are 26 miles. You conserve it, and at some point you're gonna have to sprint. I remember years ago, I was young. Called myself training for the New York City Marathon, and I think I made it to like 4 or 5 days of training, and I quit. I remember my aunt saying, "You're gonna be famous." Like, okay, and then I quit. No diversity in the play calling. You can tell. Ain't no this can happen. Yep, southbound. Oh man. But that as they say, as Cameron and May say, it is what it is. Oh boy. Stay tuned. We have some good stuff coming up, and we appreciate you all for joining. Let it be known. Hang in there, because there is some diversity here. There is D and I. I'll see you soon.
Let's go! Let's go, Flav. Hey!